Good morning. My name is Adison Harrison and I'm a new tutor here on Wyzant, and I'm really excited to show you how to answer this question with simplicity and with ease. So first, let's read the question. The question states, on Sunday morning, Mr. Allen flew a plane from his hometown to Dallas, flying at an average speed of 297 miles per hour. Later that day, he flew the plane back to his hometown. Together, the two flights lasted a total of 8 hours. If Mr. Allen flew at an average speed of 495 miles per hour on the return trip, how long did the return trip take? So first, we need to understand exactly what this question is saying. It is telling us that Mr. Allen took 2 trips. He took one trip from home to Dallas, and then he took a second trip from Dallas to home. And the question is specifically asking us, how long did the return trip take? So how long did it take for him to come back home? So now that we know what the question is asking us, now I would like to write out the information that the question gives us. The question says that Mr. Allen's rate to Dallas was 297 miles per hour. So let's write that out. His rate to Dallas was 297 miles per hour. And then it tells us that the time to Dallas plus the time back from Dallas was 8 hours. Finally, it tells us that the rate back home, it is the rate. That the rate back home is 495 miles per hour. Now there's one last piece of information that's a little less obvious, and that is that the distances are equal because he's making the same flight. So the distance to Dallas plus the time to Dallas, equals the distance back from Dallas. Now that we have all this information, what do we do with it? Well, if you look at all this information, it reminds us of an equation. And that equation is distance equals rate times time. If we look at this, we have distance, we have rates, and we have times. Now we can use this equation to solve for the time back to home. How can we do this? Well, we can use this equation, the distance equals rate times time, in this equation right here. The distances are equal. By saying that because the distances are equal, then the rate times times are equal. In other words, the rate to Dallas times the time to Dallas equals the rate back from Dallas times the time back from Dallas. Now that we have this equation, let's plug in the information that we have, which is, we know the rate, which is 297, but we don't know what the time to Dallas is. We can find this by solving for this equation right here by isolating time to Dallas, which would be the time to Dallas equals 8 minus the time back from Dallas. So now let's plug this into our equation right here, which is 8 minus time back equals the rate back, which is 495. I'm sorry, my computer's having a little bit of a lag, but we'll catch up. All right, times the time back from Dallas. Now, if we look at what we have right here, we have just time back, which is what the problem is asking us. So now that we have only time back, then we can do 297 times 8, which is 2,376. Minus 297 TB. Which equals 495 TB. All right, now let's isolate for TB. So we're going to add 297 TB to both sides. And then we get 2,300 and 76 is equal to 792. Wow. TB. And look at that. Now we just need to divide by 792, which would be TB is equal to 3. So we now have that the time is equal to 3, which means that B is our final answer. And just like that, by using the formula distance equals rate times time, and using that formula with all the other information given us, we were able to decipher the time with one equation and with a very simplistic way about it. I hope this answers your question about Mr. Allen's trip, and I hope this answers any questions you may have about me as a tutor. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.